Ella, for your focus question, decided how do corrupt leaders change citizens' relationships with the government?
Okay, so first of all, I'm going to explain a little bit what's going on in my book. They start off by being victors because they won their first Hunger Games, and then they got called in. Katniss and Peter got called into it's the 75th Hunger Games, and every quarter, like 25, 50, 75, it's called the Quarter Quell, and they do something special. So the last Quarter Quell, the 50th, they did double the amount of people in the games. So this time, they pulled people that have already been in the games to play again. Mm-hmm. And so that was kind of traumatic, and it felt like kind of picked because Cornelius Snow, the president at the time, was already angry at Katniss for rebelling or making like rebellions happen throughout the districts. Like ever since the first Hunger Games, she rebelled because there's only supposed to be one winner, but instead she told, like, she was standing there with Peeta in the end of the games, and she said that they were both going to kill themselves and eat poisonous berries. And this created a symbol of rebellion. Even though she was just trying to survive, she created a symbol of rebellion throughout the districts, and they started to think about revolting, and they started to pursue this. And so I just want to talk a little bit about my first quote from my book was from page 244 in my book Catching Fire, and Katniss said, "A refusal to play the Hunger Games by the Capitol's rules." So I wrote in my little thing, it says, her being forced made her resent the government and made her rebellion against their ways. So the government forced them into the government also being the leader because everything was tainted by this president who had all this power because they had so much power that they abused it. Mm-hmm. And so he had this power to be angry at Katniss for causing these revolts in all these districts and causing all these issues and causing these risings, and he just needed the people in the districts. He just wanted them calm, he wanted them to work, and he wanted them to be everyday, basically like servants, just slaving away for the things that the Capitol needs and doing their job and not causing any issues and just being workers and barely getting by every day. That's what he wanted them to do. And so when Katniss caused all these issues, it tainted his view towards her, and like he still had to respect her as a victor because all these people in the Capitol, these people that watched the Hunger Games, that found entertainment by it, most of the districts, when they watched it, they were upset by what they saw because they knew that meant people from their town, from their district were dying, and that this happened every year, and it was a sign that the Capitol was trying to push them down and show them that they were not worthy enough to like even have their own common rights. And so it hurt. Every game was bad for them. But for the Capitol, they did not have to participate in the games. They did not have to work the way that the districts did. So they found the games as entertainment. And through this, like the people in the Capitol, they didn't have to worry about anything. So when these revolts happened, he viewed her as like a crazy rebellion, but he couldn't do anything about it because people in the Capitol wanted to watch her like a piece of entertainment. And that's how corrupt it is, that he would let people just live a frivolous lifestyle, like pure like riches. Like they had jobs that were barely anything, and they could eat whatever they wanted. They ate so much that they had a special drink that would make them throw up so they could continue to eat while people in the districts were starving. That's how corrupt the government was, that the president would let people in the Capitol do whatever they wanted and drink and eat whatever they wanted, and giving them all these things that he would not give the districts for even basic necessities like being clean, running water, heated homes, air conditioning in the towns that were hot, fresh water, like even simple things. Like he could have easily given to the districts and still had enough money for the Capitol, but he chose to just give it all to one spot. And that just shows how corrupt he is and how corrupt the people in the government are. And so how do corrupt leaders change citizens' relationship with the government? All these people in these districts viewed the leader, President Snow, as an awful person, and they hated him, or they had hatred towards him because of the way that he treated the districts and what he made them do every year. And the quote, "A refusal to play the Hunger Games by the Capitol's rules," shows that like she felt rebellion towards the Capitol because the Capitol wanted her to do everything the way that they needed. Like they needed her to not show signs of rebellion. He talked to her when they did a tour. They do a tour after they win, and after the tour, he was like, "You need to not show these groups and these districts any more signs of rebellion." And he controlled her and told her that she could not, like cause any more rebellion. He was like, "You need to stop," and he wanted to control her. And she was like, "I'm not playing it by the Capitol's rules anymore. I'm gonna play the games, and I'm gonna try to stay alive and keep Peter alive and keep my people alive." And that just caused rebellion that was her form of rebellion, and it changed her view with the government, because before she got caught into the games, she was just dragging along everyday life. But once she got caught into the game and she realized how much power she held in having the Capitol's view on her, she realized that she could show people the way she felt, and her having that, him being corrupt and trying to suppress her, made the districts rise even more.
Yeah.
So when she did the poisonous berries and said that they were gonna kill themselves so that nobody would win the games, everybody in the Capitol was mad because they wanted a winner. And so when he tried to suppress her after that because he didn't want any more rebellion, the people in the districts knew, and that made them want to revolt even more. So that just changed, him being corrupt and trying to suppress her rights, even basic rights, we have freedom of speech. She didn't get that. He didn't want her to say anything. So that's just one bit. And in the Green Day's American Idiot, it says, "Television dreams of tomorrow. We're not the ones who are meant to follow, for that's enough to argue." So the people in the districts would watch television, watch these games that they put on, and they would only put the parts that showed the Hunger Games being just entertainment, no parts that showed that the Capitol was bad, or that anything that would cause rebellion, spark thoughts of rebellion, even simple things. Nothing made the Capitol sound bad. Okay. And but the Capitol just watched this TV show for entertainment. They didn't watch it. The people in the districts watched this show and they were worried.
Yeah.
Because they knew people in their district were gonna die. Even one of them, even the victor, until Katniss and Peter in the first book, even the only one victor would come home, so they knew someone from their district would die.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah.
I feel like that's hard for us to even understand.
Because we would never even have to imagine that the government chose somebody to die. I mean, we have people die in everyday lives, but we would never think that the government would choose someone to purposely die for entertainment purposes.
And just to show their control over people.
Yeah. And that's why in the Green Day it says, "We're not the ones who are meant to follow," because when it says television dreams of tomorrow, these people in the Capitol are waiting, watching the games. The games can take up multiple days, and every day they wake up and they're like, "I wonder who won the game. I wonder who died last night." They're excited to see who's still alive in these games, and excited to see who died and how they died and how they were killed. And that's just entertainment for them. But people in the districts watch it and they're just upset. And that's why it says we're not the ones who are meant to follow, because, and it says, for that's enough to argue. That's enough to start up rebellion, because they shouldn't be able to watch all these people die and find entertainment while people in the districts are grieving these people that are dying.
I agree.
And that just shows how corrupt the leaders can be, and how it changes the views. Even people that are distant, they're sad when you come home and they see these families mourning. These districts are close. These people are all trying to scrape by and trying to get by. So, people, they help you. Their community, they help each other, but they don't get any help from the government. So that's why they're not doing well, and they're barely getting food on the table. And it's just, seeing one family grieve makes you want to grieve. Anybody who has a grieving family, or you see a grieving family, it makes you a little sad on the inside too, because you know what they're going through.
Alright, I'm going to move on to one of your essential questions, which is, how does a corrupt government inspire rebellion? So it's kind of the same, but just allude a little bit more towards the rebellion part.
Okay, so corrupt government create rebellions. So when they put these people in the games, they did a lot of like even just the people killing each other was not enough. They do other things that cause death, basically. So not only killing each other is not enough, giving them weapons isn't enough. They have other things that are out there to kill them, like poisonous stuff, like even basic necessities. Like they couldn't even give them an arena with just a basic place. They wanted this rig to kill them, and they think that's just entertainment. And the corrupt part about it the most is that they don't even get a chance to say goodbye. They're drawed. They have like 2 seconds to say goodbye to everyone they love, and they are expected to die, and they're waiting to die, and they know in their mind that they might die, and they're probably not going to win unless they're fully trained, which most of these people aren't. Okay, in the Wealth of Nations, I'm going to talk about this. It says, but man has almost constant occasion for the help of its brethren, and it is in vain for him to expect it from his benevolence. So this bit talks about, okay, so everybody